Welcome to the Education Exchange. I am your host, Superintendent Jeremy Calles, and today we are here to tee off the conversation on all of our new school construction projects. And I got two great guests here today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Thank you very much. My name is Ken Hicks. I am the proud CFO of the Tolleson Union High School District.
My name's Gabriel Martinez, and I'm Director of Facilities.
All right. Let's talk construction.
Let's do it.
All right, so I'm gonna take this. Let's take this campus by campus, so that way anybody that needs to fast forward to the campus they care about, they can get there quickly and hear all their answers on that topic. Let's we'll take it almost in chronological order. Let's start here with the mothership, the original school, Tolleson Union High School, our oldest campus. It's gone through a lot of renovations lately. Before we talk about the new projects, Gabe, why don't you give us a recap on what's already been done over there at the site within the last 5-6 years?
So far, what we've done, we've completed, we started out by removing the old swimming pool that we had there on campus. We turned that into a science building. After that, we actually demoed the old performing arts building, made it into a new performing arts. We demoed between the cafeteria and the gym. I'm sorry, not cafeteria, the gym and the science building. We added the media center, along with building the two-story 500 building next to the auto shop.
And also the Performing Arts Center that just got completed.
Correct.
Beautiful.
All right, so
Yes.
so this campus already has a brand new performing arts center,
Yes.
Replaced the old library. It has a brand new media center. It's got a Starbucks feel to it when you walk in that media center. So a beautiful new media center. Took out those old locker rooms in the pool.
Yes.
We got that new 500 building with all those new classrooms. We got that new science building with all those new classrooms. So it's already seen some significant renovations. Wolverine Den, I think you forgot to throw out. We got a new upgraded. It's
That's
Wolverine Den 2.0
Yes.
over there at the campus. That's looking great. But now there's still some more work to do. So let's talk about some of the upcoming projects for Tolleson Union High School.
Well, I'll let Gabe hit a few, but really master planning the whole campus. And so we've looked at where things should be, how they are, some of the older things, because we have some buildings that are approaching 50 years old that are still left on the campus. And so we've really been talking with the site, with our architects, with the facilities to find out the best use and all of that. So I don't know if you want to go through a few of those projects.
Sure. So far right now, we've been working on the new SPED building, which will be located right there just south of the 2200 building. We're also looking at building a new University High in replacement of demoing the 300 and 400 building. And then as soon as we get done with that, we would like to focus on providing a new gym in the place of the 18, 19, and the 2000 building.
Part of that work is we're still doing the parking lot.
Yes.
Redoing the parking lot to get that a little bit better functioning. I know we had some changes this year, but I know every site wants more parking and better pickup drop-off. And so we're doing a good focus on that and making those changes. We also have a few other smaller future projects that we're working on, a lot of them CTE related, whether it's auto. We already did the culinary remodel there. I can't remember.
Little work on the kitchen.
The kitchen. The kitchen remodel that's also going to start in the second semester.
All right, so a lot of new construction coming, a lot of replacement construction coming, and some of the existing buildings are getting a facelift. And then, of course, the classic Old Main. Old Main had a little bit of a facelift.
Yep.
How about telling some of the listeners, that are old alumni, and they maybe haven't visited the campus for a while. Talk about how we're able to clean up Old Main and make Old Main look new again.
Yeah, what we did is we focused on going through and upgrading the whole entire, inside. A lot of the flooring, we had some issues down the hallway where the corridor was unleveled. So we went in and leveled out the floor. We painted everything. We tried to remove as much of the exposed conduit in the classrooms. Then we also upgraded all the wood doors throughout there. So when you walk in, it has a brand new feel to it. We installed all new ceiling tile. So yeah, it looks nice.
Beautiful building.
Yes.
So I'll applaud the team and applaud which includes our architects and our GCs. One of one of the things I really appreciate driving down Van Buren, which, you know, you look at Van Buren as the birthplace of the district and of this city, is the way the columns on the Performing Arts Center line up and match with Old Main's columns. And I know you threw out there that we're looking at the new gymnasium. Let's talk about what that gymnasium is going to look like and where people can expect to see that new gymnasium.
Want to go for that?
Yeah, so it's going to be right next to the Performing Arts Center, and it will have the same exterior look at it. So we'll continue the columns and that beautiful classic look going down Van Buren. So it'll. I'm trying to remember the square footage, but it's going to be
a little under 50, like about 54,000 square feet.
So it's a little bit larger than just one little gym kind of thing. It's going to have a lot of some classroom space, new locker rooms. Be a really nice complement right there. There will be some more demoing of a few more buildings, and it'll be right north of where the new U High building is going to be. So, but it'll be perfectly located on that campus.
All right. So when we're driving east to west down Van Buren, so you're making that turn on 91st, you're going past the Pete's Fish and Chips, you're cruising along at your 25 miles an hour, you're going to hit Old Main. Then you're going to see our new Performing Arts Center. After that, you're going to see the gymnasium. And then as you continue, right now there's the racquetball courts, the tennis courts, the basketball courts. But what's that going to be replaced with?
Well, that's a great question. We are hoping right now, we're doing some master planning to, first of all, you'll see after those and you're driving down, you're going to see a beautiful parking lot. We haven't fixed that. The city may or may not know, the city's looking at putting in a bridge. So you might drive under a bridge as you're going. And then we're looking at possibly adding a new district office right there. We would be then remodeling our current district office that we're sitting at to help relocate some programs here to use efficient, effective use of our space. But we would then keep that new district office with that same style with the columns and the classic look.
So great thing to bring up, that new bridge that's going to have a base over at Sonic, but then also have another base over landing on our side. With, great for pedestrians, because as that traffic increases on Van Buren, to be able to have the pedestrians take the bridge and go over the top of the traffic is going to be a great look. I know the city got some federal funding on that, so that's great for the face. Let's talk about the backside. So I know you already mentioned that the new Exceptional Student Services building is going to be going over there on the backside, but we also have a couple of other new projects that are being targeted for the backside of the complex.
On the backside of the complex, we currently have our maintenance office, our facilities team. So currently we're looking at removing that, demoing that building, and adding a 3-story car garage for more parking for our students.
As you continue going down past that, you would then, we're acquiring another piece of land to put a little sports complex to create a better environment for all of our students in our community. And as you keep going, that road, that's a private road now that we own, we're going to be maybe making some modification of that, increasing safety and functionality with our buses coming into the back of the bus yard. And so we do, anytime we're looking at parking, roads, ingress, egress, we are always looking for student safety and staff safety as it's coming in. As another project that we forgot to mention is also putting up better fencing and protection so that we're protecting and ensuring our campuses are safe and sound and all of that. And so we're continuing to build out. And then if you look on the other side of Wolverine Way, and we own that land, we are already working at building a new warehouse for our facilities. As we continue to grow, we've outgrown the trailer that we have back there with its staff, and we'll need a full warehouse and to move our facilities team over there.
All right, so a lot of new construction right here between the Tolleson Union High School and the Tolleson Union High School District office. Let's move on to our second oldest campus, Westview. So what's in the works for Westview right now?
Okay, Westview, we're going to remodel the current ROTC building. Where the volleyball court's at, we want to build the new ROTC. Along with, in the football stadium, we want to add the field house, the locker rooms, along with restrooms. And then with the current ROTC building, we want to remodel it and provide another extra restrooms for our football team.
A few other projects that we're looking at. I believe we have the culinary, our welding program, and
Yes.
there's one other CTE program.
The life skills.
The life skills that we're looking at making some enhancements there. Gabe and his team have already looked at, and I think should be complete, is the parking lot. So we do look at modifications, changing to parent pickup, drop off, student and staff parking. Came up with a great plan last year, at the end of last year, made some changes to the front parking lot or on the south side, increased the flow, the drop off, and the speed of our pickup and drop off, and then also just finished the parking, some modifications to the parking and the student and staff parking on the north side. So we continue to always look at efficient and effective use of all of our facilities, and also some fencing
Yes.
project that's going on there as well.
That's going to be great. I know for our ROTC program, they have been non-compliant for a little while now with not having the proper distance for marksmanship, and this new building is not only going to provide that, but also provide them some storage space for their BDUs and MREs, all the things that you need to run a good ROTC program. So that's going to be great. The sand volleyball, I'll tell you, I've been talking about getting rid of that sand volleyball for years now, just waiting from the outpour from the community about how can you get rid of sand volleyball, and I've mostly heard it from the cats. You know,
Wildcats?
they've been
Is this
not
you?
the Wildcats. They may leave the same litter, but no, it's the ones that have been meowing out there. For everyone though, I did finally come across a student who said I would probably play sand volleyball if you guys left some volleyballs out there for us and everything else. We didn't have to bring our own. So for anyone in the community who is like, no, absolutely, we would love to start using some sand volleyball. I do want to point out that the city of Avondale is opening up a handful of sand volleyball courts at their new complex that is just down the street. So for any sand volleyball enthusiasts who will miss that court being there, I know we get limited to no use on it, but there is a great place coming up with the city of Avondale down the street for sand volleyball.
Well, I appreciate you saying all this because it does bring to light when we make modifications to a site, we work with the site. Gabe, his team, we start very early on what some intentions are, what the plans with some of our bonds and what we're looking at. We meet with the principal. Principal will circulate to staff, sometimes to student council, to make sure we're getting a lot of input. So we wouldn't just take away sand volleyball courts. We would be talking with the site about this is where we're looking to place a certain building, and then get their feedback if that is a good or a bad idea. So we do get a lot of input before we make any decision, any change or modification to any facility.
And that's great because I got a couple suggestions that have come out of student government over there at the campus. Looking at the racquetball, they're saying they didn't even know what that was. They just thought that was some odd cement structure from the ground.
So better signage.
Well, mostly what they're looking at is what they would actually play would be basketball. If we had some outdoor basketball available, that might be something that they'll play during their lunch period. So another thing to put on the list is looking at the basketball as opposed to having racquetball available. One of the other things I think you forgot to mention is one of the demo projects that'll be happening as soon as we can get that new home for our distance learning academy.
Yes.
The portable buildings that
Yes.
have, I believe, are they original to the school, those portables, or do we know about how long after construction of school
yeah.
those portables came?
I don't even know the year when they
They're old.
They're old.
They're
They've
old.
been there
All
for a
right.
long time.
But they are very well maintained. So all they're old. I know we were walking it last week. They're in good shape. We take care of them. The AC's working, good insulation. These are good, sound facilities that Gabe and his team do a good job of maintaining.
All right. So even if they're well past their useful life, that just means we've gotten really good ROI out of them. So that's great.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's move on to our next campus. What do we have in store for Copper Canyon?
Copper Canyon, what are we doing? Currently, right now, we are working on the perimeter fencing. We're getting that done. I know we've been looking at the sound system for the Performing Arts building, looking at upgrading that, along with, what else?
Well, I'll
We
say
did some-
two projects we're doing at almost all schools, maybe one in and or out here, is we are adding solar at all of us, and then we're looking at the courtyards to see if we could add more shade, take away some of the DG, some of the grass that kids might be walking on and everything, and not intended use, so making some modifications. So we're working with all schools, and Copper Canyon's included in that.
That's great. One of the things that's really going to help our students too is the construction around Copper Canyon. So Stonehaven is nearing completion. We have the parcel that is immediately adjacent to Copper Canyon is now building their Starbucks and also I believe it's a preschool.
I believe.
So we got a preschool coming in with the Starbucks. Definitely a great combination, you know. By the time you drop off the kids, you definitely are ready for your coffee. It makes it easier for us to go visit the campus because then we can get coffee on our way into the campus. So that's great. Starbucks right there. Additionally, that means all those sidewalks that I know the community has been pressing for us to find a way to get sidewalks put in. And the city has been waiting for those developments to get those sidewalks finally completed. So all of our sidewalks to make it easier for students to walk around and get to school are finally getting completed. So that's good to see with Copper Canyon, to see that basically that area now finally starting to be on a path towards completion to where the whole area is developed. So that's going to be nice around Copper Canyon. Let's move on to La Jolla. You brought up getting rid of DG and trying to take care of courtyards. So what's that looking like over at La Jolla?
Well, I don't know if we have the final plan. You know, we met, I know we presented to you to look at some of them, and you provided back some feedback from students saying that some of our sidewalks only being 6 feet or 8 feet wide, and they're walking through the DG, kicking rocks everywhere, bringing them into the classroom. So we've gone back to our architects with some of our courtyard projects to say, can we also add some concrete and get rid of that DG and or widen the walkway so the kids aren't walking in either grass or that. So we are doing that. Do you know of a couple of the other projects?
Yes, we just completed the flooring project. We removed all the old VCT and made it into polished concrete, along with upgrading the carpet in the classrooms. Then we got the new sped drop-off that we're designing, trying to finalize that with the city.
That's been a big challenge, is just improving their traffic flow. I think last year you talked to some student council, or the student council at La Jolla, and they came back with adding some speed bumps. I believe which we did complete. So we do listen to our students and our superintendent. So that has been nice. But really, the drop-off, pick-off area, I think is at Wyman, still gets very congested. In the special ed area, there is some, as I've witnessed, maybe not the best or safest driving that's happening in there. So we're looking at making some modifications. We've sent it to the school for their input to get that. So we're still in the development phase there, but depending on the feedback we get from the school, hopefully moving forward, probably not the biggest changes, but just putting up some curbs, only having one way in and out and have both coming in. We think will limit some of the car traffic and making sure it's all going the same way to increase safety right there.
All right. And you brought up about the widening of the sidewalks, adding in some more cement. I believe also looking at some turf, possible turf on some of those inner areas of where we have some of the classroom buildings.
And this goes around to a lot of our courtyard projects. We are looking at taking out some of the grass where we're watering. Sometimes I see kids trudging through and digging up the grass and everything like that. So if we could put some turf down, we don't have to water it, and it'll look good all the time. Save a little bit on our watering bill and our utility bills. So we are looking at that at almost every site. Yes, there, and West Point in the front. But yes, we are looking at turf, adding turf in the courtyards and places to reduce that footprint.
All right. Well, let's move on to Sierra Linda. It's supposed to be home with the Bulldogs. A lot of times it feels like it's home with the termites. Let's talk about some of the changes we have in store for Sierra Linda.
Right now with Sierra Linda, we are looking at the solar project, adding some solar in the actual courtyard, going along with the courtyard project and the design. We also, what else have we?
Well, we did the traffic, the parking.
Traffic. Oh yeah, then.
If you've been around Sierra Linda, some of their pickup drop-off has been just crazy. That first week, I think I was calling everybody in the world asking for help on this. The site made some great modifications and training for the parents and staff and students to changed some of the way their habits, have made it completely better. Gabe and his team with our architect did a little site review, analyzation, talking with the school, and we have I think 3 different potential projects that are all coming up. One that was completed, that we have a better exit coming out of the south part on 67th that will increase flow and separate certain traffic. Looking at right in front of administration of adding a little more parking spots, because it's always full when I get there, and never seem to have any parking spots. So we'll add that and change the in and out of that main entrance right there. The third part is we're looking to add another entrance on the very north side of the campus, maybe a bus and staff only. We haven't got full approval on those plans yet, so we're still looking at that. But those are 3 main ones. We've also looking with the site, doing a little bit of cleanup of athletics, putting some fencing, some sidewalks. So we do work with every site, and when there's a good, reasonable project that isn't going to take away from his staff too much, and we could do it really quick, especially over summer, we're going to work with the sites to make them as effective as possible. And this is just one project that I like a lot, so I know this is very minor. We're looking at some of those utility boxes that get rusted and look all worn, and we're working with SRP and our utilities to paint those, and we're allowed to. So we're getting the regulations, getting their approvals to paint some base colors and then put a little bit other decorations so that they're not eyesores on our campus. But a lot of times people think because they're utilities, we can't touch them, and you could remodel everything else and paint everything else, and then you have this eyesore. So I know it's a very small project, but we're also trying to clean up and make those utility boxes look really nice.
Nice. So going to improve the traffic flow around that campus. It is a somewhat newer campus. I mean, it's only 15 years old. Termites have been a problem since we've opened up that campus. What are we doing about the library? What are we doing to save the library from the termites?
I mean, right now we've been using a couple of different termite companies. I think right now, any chance we get, it seems like we treat one area and then they pop up somewhere else. It's been an ongoing issue. I think right now we have a good handle on it. We haven't seen too much activity.
Are we changing some furniture options around there?
We are. So I've worked with the site administration. They have grandiose plans for a lot. And so what I've asked them to do is maybe we do it in phases, but let's put it all together, put it down. We're going to meet with our furniture vendor and then also our architect if we need to move some walls and move some functionality to create it more of a lesser of the traditional library and more of a media center sense. So they're actually coming up with the plans, and I think I gave them 6 months to flush out all that they want. They're supposed to present back to us, and then we're going to look about seeing what we can do and not. But we do want to vet it with their site, with their students, with their staff before it comes to us and see if we could accommodate with their requests.
All right. Sounds like a great plan. Now, Sierra Linda is somewhat new, but the campus that's really new, West Point. Brand new campus. Already looks absolutely beautiful, amazing. But do we have any additional projects that we need to run at West Point?
We did. The staff asked for some more additional speed bumps in the north parking lot. We did do that. I know we had talked about adding some turf in the front of the admin building there, along the way there.
Check with the admin on there, and they would love it. So we are looking at that. The other project that I forgot to mention early on that we're doing at most every school also is adding additional billboards. And so a big digital billboard out front. West Point already has one. As we're taking and adding, we're taking the old billboards and we're repurposing them to put them on the interior side of our campus. Now, West Point has a good digital marquee billboard out there, so we're just buying an add one, but we're going to now add a digital marquee, smaller one on the inside on one of our buildings that our student council will be able to control, so that they will be able to start putting out there what events they have coming up and everything to increase the camaraderie within their community and their students.
All right, so these are a lot of great projects. There is one obstacle, one variable that's outside the control of the district. So let's go ahead and address that one. The School Facilities Board. We are still waiting on approval. At this December 15th meeting, we will be appealing again for approval on the construction of our new high school on the corner of Dysart and Broadway. Talk a little bit about how the approval for that project has an impact on all of these other projects we just discussed.
Yeah, so this is one that we started fighting a little bit last year, so some may know about this already, but the School Facilities Board does a calculation, and it's a district-wide calculation. It looks at the total number of square footage, and they have a formula to tell you how many students you have, how that can serve. You have to exceed that number by 20% within 2 years to be authorized for a new school. So because of that, and we are very close, we're at over 13,900 average daily membership. We're over 14,000 enrolled, but the way the calculation is, it comes around 13,009. Within 2 years, we would exceed the 14.4 capacity that they have allocated, which means that they would approve us for funding another high school, and they would pay for the majority of that funding for that high school. The difficulty is that any square footage we add, they will redo the calculation, and then our number for students required would go up. And so the difficulty this has is almost any project that we have that has anything that adding any square footage is on hold right now. So we've done some general planning, and that is, it seems like over half of our projects are all on hold because we can't add any additional square footage, or it will push that threshold out, push the threshold higher, and then push it out 3-4 years before we qualify to get a school. So it is a $100 million decision that we need to hold to make sure that the state funds their share of our growth in our new construction.
All right, so $115 million pair of handcuffs that's holding up the rest of these projects if we can't get that approval on December 15th. Anything else that you guys would like to throw out there to our parents, to our students about future projects or working to get future projects considered down the road?
Well, I think you just hit it right at the end. How do you get future projects considered? Really, just tell somebody. Talk to your administration. Talk to your director. Talk to somebody. We reevaluate on a regular basis. So we are very blessed to have a community that has supported us with bonds. What that has also allowed us to do is, and we have some flexibility within those bonds. They're not just locked in that you will only build a gym. So we're re-looking at our priorities and what our needs are. And sometimes it's going around to all staff, or sometimes we're sitting in a meet and confer meeting and a teacher says, "Why is my staff lounge furniture 40 years old?" And we think they're joking. And then we go and look and they have 40-year-old furniture. And I said, you know what? We'll replace that furniture. So then we re-look at what our priorities are, what projects we have. And I'm looking at over 80 projects that we have on the list right now. Honestly, if they all went through, there's total over $300 million. So we do have to prioritize. And some of them we have to prioritize because we can't add square footage. And so whether you're talking to student council, whether you're talking to principals, whether you're talking to directors or talking to Mr. Martinez and his staff, let somebody know. We will we'll evaluate it, identify what priority it is and need. And then if it gets on it, that's not the last we hear about it. As we've said multiple times, we're constantly talking to the principal, the site administration. Sometimes we'll ask them, make sure they're asking students. They like to go to student council. They're the more engaged students that will give a good, honest feedback as we're designing and putting these projects together. So there's a lot that goes into it. We're very lucky and blessed to have a community that supports us, that provides us with these additional funds, and then we try to use them the most efficient and effective way possible.
Well, that's great to share with everyone, to let them know we're not just talking about the projects right now. We're not just sharing. We're listening. We're taking input from students, staff, community members, and appreciate you guys for continuing that process as we continue to move forward and see what other new projects are here needed in the district. And we appreciate our listeners for tuning in once again to the Education Exchange, where we aim to enlighten our parents and empower our students. And we look forward to seeing you again next time.
And that's the end of our show. Thank you for listening. If you have questions, want more information, or would like to be a guest on the Education Exchange, please send us an email at podcast@tuhsd.org. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and tune in next week to the Education Exchange. You can catch all episodes on your favorite streaming devices or directly at www.tuhsd.org/podcast.